Hi y'all, this is Charity from F.R.O.G. And to get started, I'm going to do the devotion for today because I have not recorded it yet. And it is a shoulder to rest your head. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. The year was 1956. I was 5 years old. My mother, grandmother, and I had been shopping all day, and I was exhausted. We had combed the insides of all the busy stores that lined Roseville Boulevard that January afternoon in northern Georgia. My young mind whirled with the dizzy activity that enveloped us. Just as we were heading home, my mother saw the 75% discount sale sign in a store window, reviving her shopping energy. That's when my wise grandmother noticed my glazed over eyes. She took me by the hand, saying, "Come with me," leading me away from the chaotic crowds. Once inside my mother's large black Chevrolet, I breathed a sigh of relief. Tired, I laid my head on my grandmother's shoulder, feeling her soft woolen coat against my face, against my face, smelling the lingering vanilla flavoring she had spooned into that morning's pound cake. I closed my eyes and listened to her breathing and her reassuring words gently calming me. "Be still, precious one, and rest." I closed my eyes, falling asleep, leaving the world of crying kids and clanging cash registers and stepping into a warm cocoon of rest. I have treasured that snapshot memory for more than 65 years. My beloved grandmother had offered me a haven of solitude in the middle of maddening activity. I discovered the same sweet solitude and rest when I escaped from the busyness of the world and lay my head on the shoulder of Jesus, who invites me, the weary and burdened, to come to him and find rest. And our prayer today is, Lord, will you please give me rest and renewal today? And for a deeper walk, Matthew 11:25 through 30. Hi, Seth. All right. My happy mail is I got a card from Anita, Queen Mama Hillbilly, Queen Mama's Hillbilly House with Anita. She sent Miss Kitty something as well. And actually, let me show you that. She had sent little man a card in this package for his birthday as well. But she sent this for Miss Kitty. Sorry, I'm trying to get the glare off of it. It's an iron-on thing for her. And Miss Kitty says, "Thank you, Anita." And I'll get this out. Oh, lots of glitter. A blessing is just what you need right when you need it. Isn't that pretty? I got all kinds of glitter on there. Says, "Thank you so very much. Charity, thank you so much for the beautiful yarn and stitch markers. Also, thank you for the friendship and allowing me to get to know you and your amazing family. Anita." Thank you, Miss Anita. All right, Miss Kitty. Behave. All right. And I did get to go to Hobby Lobby. Little man got to get something the day we went for his birthday. And, of course, I picked me up on a little free pattern. I'm going to try this, but I'm going to try to find some colors that I like in my stash of yarn and try this. Hopefully I have enough somewhere. But I got 2 of these. And the colors are not coming in. This is like a dark blue, green. That's a plum color. Kind of a gold. It looks kind of brown in this, but it's like a charcoal gray. And then this is Yarn Bee Pigment and Fiber. It's Friday in Florence. And they were not on sale when I got them. It is one weight, and it has 630 yards total. And I got me 2 of those. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. I got me another crochet hook. And this one is a number 5. And then I got some more clay for doing hooks. I got this black and bright pink. Sorry, bright pink. And we all know a young lady that likes black and pink together. The Yarny Chicken. And she calls her family members Yarny Cats. And this is what I found at a secondhand shop. These were $1 a piece. I got this, which is Red Heart Super Saver Heather. And it is Denim Heather. And this one don't have, this is just a piece of paper they put on it. It looked like a full skein. It is kind of a light aqua color. It's not coming in on there. I guess my lighting's not doing too well. Now this one, I was really excited about this one. So I'm doing some squirrels, crocheting some squirrels. This is really, really heavy. And you see how big it is. They have really tightly wound this, and I got this for $1. And it looks to be probably about a 2 or 3 weight. I'm saying maybe a 3 weight, but it's definitely 4. But this thing is really heavy. I paid $3 for those. I know what their normal cost is. I really don't know because 2 of them don't have labels. But I did find this. There is 14 things of yarn in this. And I looked it up online. If I had purchased this online without shipping, would have been $71.86 just for the yarn. That's not including the shipping for it. And this is what I got. Sorry. Choking on my own saliva. Went down the wrong way. I got Knit Picks. And this is Palette. And this is Asphalt Heather. I got 10 of these in different colors. I got Asphalt Heather. Some of them didn't have labels on them, so I don't know the colors of them. This one is silver. Brand new. This one is mist. It's a really light gray. And they have 231 yards each. And they are a fingering weight. And it is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And it says hand wash, lay flat, or dry flat. Sorry. So that's a lighter gray than this one. Let's see. This one ash, which is a much darker gray. There's a lot of grays in here. And this one does not have a label, and it looks to be a full thing. Maybe some of it used off of it, but it is a light blue, but no color paper for it. Oyster Heather, which is kind of a taupe, a light, like a light cream, a little on the darker, more than some of them. And then I believe these two are the same color, and this one is actually cream. And see, this one's a little bit darker than that one. But two of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On all of them. There's 9. And that one is a little bit darker gray than what I've got here. And it looks almost like a shades of gray. Kind of cloud color look. But I don't have a paper on that one. And that one definitely looks like a full skein. Or donut. So that's 6, 9. Oh, here's the last one. And sage grass. No, sorry, seagrass. I read that wrong. Seagrass. And then got 2 of this one. Galileo. And they are argent. And this is 50% merino wool, 50% viscose from bamboo, 131 yards. And this is a sport weight. And they are hand washed dry flat. 2 of this color, which is a dark gray. And then I got this one. And they're all nitpick. This is City Tweed DK. This one's basil. Hi, Jean. Hello. And this one is a DK weight. It is 55% merino wool, 25% superfine alpaca, and 20% tweed. And it's only 123 yards. And you can see the alpaca hairs, which that one actually is. But you can see the hairs in here from the alpaca. It's very soft. And then this one, which is a burgundy. That one was my favorite. I wish I could have found some more of this one, but this was the only one they had. And it's called Lindy Chain. And the color is holly berry. And it is 70% linen, 30% Pima cotton. And it's 180 yards. And it is a fingering weight. This one was a DK. So I've got a 3 weight. I got 2 weight. And the rest of these are all fingering, which is a 1 weight. I got all of this for $14. 4 of these, there was 4 oddball ones, and these are all the same brand and same type of yarn. There's 10 of these in different colors. And she asked for $1 each on these. So $14 for $71 let's see, it would have totaled, if I had ordered it, would have been $71 and $71.86, and that's without shipping. I didn't look up how much it would have cost for shipping. So about, I'd say probably about $100 almost of yarn for $14. Not bad. And I don't know yet what I'm going to make with it. I'm thinking I might try to figure out a way of turning my, let's see, this is my this and that shawl. I'm thinking I might use this and just kind of, I don't know, just grab a color out of the bag and start with it, or I might start with the really soft gray that it's a 2-weight, but I might start with it. This one here, which was the merino wool and bamboo together, and do a take and make it into a poncho instead of a shawl. Hi, Tina. I was just showing off this here. I had got this at a secondhand shop. It is, I looked online. All this yarn is from Knit Picks, little donuts. I got 10 of this one right here. It's a fingering weight. And then I got some others. There was a 2-weight, and then they were the same, this gray. It's the merino wool and bamboo. 2 of these in the same color. I got a burgundy. It was a chain spun yarn. And then I got a tweed in here, which is a 3-weight. But they're from about ranging from 3 to there's 1 3-weight, 2 2-weight, and then 11 of the fingering weight. 1. But I got all of this for $14 in this bag here. And it originally, when I looked it up online, now some of the colors you can't get, but most of these you can. And then there was a few in here that I didn't have a label for, so I don't know what the color is of those. But they totaled up to being $71.86, and that's not counting shipping if I was to order these. So I think I got quite the deal on this because they were only $1 a piece. A couple of them look like they maybe have been used a little bit, but not by much. Like this cream, it looks like it's been used a little bit. And then there was a light blue in there that looks like it might have been used a little bit. But biggest majority of these are all full, brand new skeins or donuts, I guess you should say. They're in a donut shape. But anyway, I thought I had gotten the deal of the day. And then I had gotten these. I'm going to do a squirrel. This thing is really heavy. Whoever wound this, it wound it really tight. And it's got quite a bit of yardage. I'm thinking either a 2 or a 3-weight yarn. This thing is really heavy. I mainly had went looking for gray yarn because I didn't think I had any gray. Because I'm trying to make up some stuffed animals for our church. We're doing a fall festival in November, And I've started a little squirrel. To me, he almost looks like a turkey because of the way this is, but maybe the arms are going to be coming up here kind of. I don't know. I haven't finished it. I need to find my stuffing because at this point, they told me to put stuffing in it. I got to get it out of the office. But this is what I've got so far. And these little feet are here somewhere, the bottom feet. But I got a brown one started. And I was looking for a gray because I didn't have any gray, and I found this. And then and this one and these two were in one basket, and it wasn't a very big basket that I was looking through. And I found this one, and then this one here. And a lot of the other stuff that was in that basket that I found these in was either partial balls that were like a lot smaller than this, and she still wanted $1 for them. And I mean, they were like this big. So I was like, why pay $1 for that when I can pay $1 for this big one, like this, and then get a full skein. So I left a lot of the smaller ones there. That was just partial skein, partial balls of yarn. And then she had a lot of novelty type yarns as well. And then I ran across this other basket that had these in there. And I mean, this basket was like this big around at the bottom. It tapered up, but it was plumb full of yarn. There was some really thick yarn, and I'm not a fan of the real thick yarns. I'm talking like, I guess 6 weight, or 6 weight yarn, or about a 4, or well, not about a 6 weight or a 5. And then really fuzzy stuff, and I can't see the stitches. My lighting in this house is terrible, so I try not to go with that fuzzy stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I was tickled when I found these, and my husband was just, at first he was like, more yarn, really? You really need that? And when I looked it up and I told him what this would have cost if I had ordered it online and what I paid for it, he's like, oh, wow. Yeah, you got a deal. So he was happier now that this was $14 for this and not having to pay about $100 to have it shipped in and everything. So, but I would like to take and maybe try to take this pattern. This and that pattern, and turn it into a poncho with this yarn. But I'm getting done with this one. Sorry, I didn't take my allergy medicine. This is what I got left of this that I'm working on. And this one is the Shawl and a Ball, and it's Moonstone is the color. But anyway, before I go, I almost forgot. If y'all don't watch Tap Mama and the Beg Brigade, Amanda, she has a video out, and she is asking for oh, hi Daniel and Ash. Wow, surprised. Thanks for joining my live. Anyway, Cindy and her husband from Pups and Crochet is her husband's going through a lot right now, and it's putting a lot of stress on both of them. And they're asking that, or Cindy's wanting to kind of cheer her husband up, and he's the one that does a lot of the giveaways He pays for, and he picks out the stuff for her giveaways. It's Puffs and Crochet, I believe. It's her channel. But Amanda is asking that we send in kind of like a thinking of you type of card for her husband, for Cindy's husband, because he is being really stressed out with all this medical stuff he's having to go through. And but she has the video on it on her channel, with Amanda, Tap Mama in the Big Brigade. And she has in her description box of that video the address for Cindy. And she's just asking that we, kind of cheer them up and support them through what they're going through right now. And anyway, so if you guys would like to do that, please check out Amanda's channel, Tap Mama and the Beg Brigade, and it is called the name of the name of the video is called Cards for a Friend. I do remember that. I did watch it and everything, so, but Stina says, my whole family says that to me. They say you need to use up what you already have before you buy more. That's not how it works most of the times. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. But I was like, when I seen this, I couldn't pass that up because I knew that this was some good yarn right here. And I've got a little bit of superwash merino wool, but I've not really done a whole lot with wool. I usually use acrylics or cotton because that's what I can afford. I had gotten, I won some yarn from Natalie's Closet, a while back. And this is superwash merino. And this is from the knitting artist. She hand-dyed this. This is called Fallen Moondrop Speckle. And she takes a painting, and this is the painting, and all these colors are in this thing of yarn. I've got the speckle, and then I've got the regular that they sent me. And I won these two from a birthday giveaway. And I've got a little bit of the from Hobby Lobby, the superwash merino wool, but I have not used it yet because it was in hank form. And I tried dealing with hanks before, and I didn't at the time have the umbrella. Got hair. Sorry. I didn't have my umbrella thing winder, and now I do, but I need to clean my desk off here so I can set it up and do this over into cake form. I do hand dye some yarn myself. I use cotton, and I do tie dye. So, but anyway, I do want to try and sell some sometime or another. I haven't had anybody ask me to purchase any as of yet. But a lot of mine is just cotton yarn, and I just use tie-dye to dye the yarn. Mainly because it's a cheaper route of dyeing yarn, and my husband's the only one that works, so we're on a tight budget, so I can't do a whole lot of stuff. So, and a lot of what I do is I either send it to friends. I do sometimes occasionally put it in my giveaways, and sometimes um, and I have made some for my sister. I have not sent it out to her. I need to redo one. Is the yellow on it washed completely, almost completely out? It's like so pale yellow that you can almost not see it on the yarn. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to try to redo it and hopefully get it. Is bright yellow is the other one, because I have two hanks for her, and one's got a really, really bright yellow, and then the other one's got this really, really pale yellow on it. So I wanted to retry to do that one and then get it, because she didn't like the hanks, because I had sent her one once before and it got so tangled up. She said, I got so frustrated with untangling that she said, I almost just said, the heck with it, put it in the box and send it back to you. She got that frustrated because it got tangled up so bad. But I do have a yarn winder, puts it in cake form, and I told her when I send it to her, I will cake it up for her so she won't have that issue of it being all tangled up. Yeah. I kind of laughed too, Tina. And she's new at crocheting too, so yeah, I could see her frustration because she's just now learning how to crochet. So, and she's done absolutely wonderful with learning. She's picked it up so quick. Now, like anybody else, when you first start out, you got these wonky looking things. In her very first attempt, she showed it to me, and she's like, I can't figure out what I did wrong. And I said, well, let me see what you got, and I might be able to help you with it. And she's like, no, I'm too embarrassed. It looks so weird. It's supposed to be a square, and it's not a square at all. I said, well, if you want me to help you, you need to let me try to help you. And I told her, I said, don't worry about it. I made mistakes too. I said, when I first started out, I said, my other sister, yes, I'm one of 6 girls, but she taught me how to do it, but she showed me how to do the chain, which I already knew how to do that, because my mom tried to teach me how to do crocheting years ago. And that's one of the things she got us to do first, was do a chain. And she's like, oh, here, yeah, I'll show you something. You can do this. And she made us a bunch of bracelets. Or she's like, here, you can do this with it. And we made little bracelets. We had some friends. Oh, hey, cool. I like that. So we made some bracelets. But that gave us practice on making a chain. But I was trying to teach her how to do single stitch, and my sister taught me how to do one of my sisters. I'm sorry, I'm one of 6 girls, so we'll call her M. M taught me how to crochet when we first moved out here to Virginia, as I was bored. We just moved out here, had no friends and everything. She was crocheting, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And I was just like, oh, I'm crocheting. Just give me something to do. I said, you know what? I think I might do that too. So she showed me how to get started, because I hadn't done it in years. Oh, there she is now. Hi, Alexis. Anyway, her first, and she finally showed me what it looked like. My first project, my sister showed me to do from the chain. To do a single crochet is just pick up one loop and then start crocheting your single crochet across. And I didn't know that to turn around. I knew to chain one to turn around, but I didn't know that I was supposed to pick up both loops and go across there for the next row and do a single crochet row. And so I just started using the back loop only every time I turned around. And so I had this ripple look. And I liked it. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm just doing what you told me to do." She's like, "No, I didn't show you that." I said, "Well, you weren't around, so I just did what you showed me to do the first time. I just picked up one loop and went across." And she's like, "Well, that's not how you're supposed to do it, but it looks cool." But I ended up doing a king size blanket, all single stitch in that ripple stitch, all the way up down in the North Carolina Tar Heels colors blanket. And it took me about 5 years to get it done, because at that time I was working. My mom had made me get a job in town because I wasn't going to college, so she had me go get a job. And so, because I didn't know a lot of people, I was like, that gave me something to do at home. And so that's what I would do. I would go to work, and then I'd come home in the evenings and I would work on this blanket. And I was a night owl, still am. I'd stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on it. And then finally, by the time I finally got tired, I'd put it down and go to sleep. Go back to work the next day and come back and do it again. But anyway. Well, I'm not too fond of it either, but when that's the only stitch oh, hi, Spring, welcome in. Because that was all that she taught me at that time, and I think that's all she knew was the single stitch as well. So, but I stuck with it. So, I guess I figured, if I could do this big of a project and stick with it, that, I might enjoy doing this. So, anyway, but I have kind of been teaching Alexis a little bit. I need to try to get doing some other stitches for her, because she knows how to do the single crochet. I don't know. Have you learned how to do the double yet, sis? But anyway, yeah, her first project that she did, she was trying to do okay, well, I will try to get a tutorial up, as I do have some other patterns that does the double crochet. This one here, the this and that, has your single crochet, it has half double, has double, and it has triple, and then your chain, and then putting a space in there. That's why I call it the this and that, because I use a little bit of this stitch and a little bit of that stitch. I need to figure out how to set up my camera to do a tutorial. But her first, and we both had a good laugh and about it. And I have done my first, I told her, my very first one, before I even did that blanket, my mom, when I was probably about little man's age, maybe Miss Kitty's age, my mom tried to teach me how to crochet. But she tried to teach me how to crochet a hat. Not something flat like most people try to do, is either a scarf or a blanket or something small like that, or even a pot holder. She tried to get me to learn how to do something kind of round. And I got it done, and she's like, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, it was supposed to be a hat, and I don't know what I did wrong." And she looked at it, and she said, "Well, you got your stitches too tight, for one." And she said, "Well, let me see it." She did a little something with it, put this cotton stuff in there, sewed it up the rest of the way. She's like, "All right, here you go. You got a ball now." So my hat turned into a ball. I have no idea where that thing went. Um, and after that, she didn't try to teach me how to do it anymore. She got frustrated with trying to teach me how to do it. So I didn't learn anymore till in 99 when we moved out here in Virginia. But anyway, Alexis, her first one, it was supposed to be like a pot holder, and it looked like a baby diaper. And we both had a good laugh about it. And I told her what happened is she had dropped stitches, and then she ended up picking up stitches somehow or another. But it literally looked like a little baby doll diaper. And I said, "You give that to one of your kids and let them put them on the baby doll." And I don't know if she did or if she still has it, but your mom started you right on an Afghan. Being young, I made it halfway and didn't finish it. Wanted to do something else. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, see, I was taught how to do a finger chain, and then she taught me how to do the hat. But yeah, some of my stuff has been self-taught as well. But yeah, we did finger chains when we were kids. Me and um did a lot of bracelets when we were kids, and then if we stuck with it like I did, did not. She didn't have the patience for it. She actually crochets now some, but she don't crochet as much as I do. But anyway, so that's why mom tried to teach me to do a hat, because I stuck with continuing to do a lot of those bracelets. I think did one or two, and then she gave up and said, "I'm done with this." She was bored with it. And so anyway, so she tried to teach me, but after doing the ball instead of a hat, she got frustrated with teaching me and didn't teach me anymore. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then picked it up in 99 because I was bored, didn't have any friends, wanted something to do. And been crocheting since. And because of that situation with her just teaching me that, and I wanted to learn the right way of how to do the crocheting, which I found out that actually was a right way to do it. It's just a different, it gives you a different look. I got me some how-to books, and I made sure that it had a picture of each step of how to do that stitch, because they didn't. I don't know if they had YouTube tutorials back then or not. I didn't do a lot with internet then. My mom always was scared of the internet. You don't get on the internet. There's bad stuff. You don't know what you're doing. You need to leave it alone. So, if they had tutorials on YouTube then, I don't know. And, it would have been helpful. And I'm more of a visual learner and hands-on learner than I am to sit there and read it. And a lot of the lingo, because I didn't know back then how to read patterns, that's kind of self-taught as well, by reading books. And first, when I started learning to try to read books, I was like, my aunt, she crochets too, and she did mine and little man's. Baby Yodas, and she made me the Dennis and Denise up here, the gnomes. I asked her one day, I said, what the world is yo and sway? What does that mean in crocheting? And she laughed at me. She's like, yo means yarn over, and the sway, I still don't remember what that was. But now that I've been reading, I was just like, I couldn't figure it out, It is hard whenever you're trying to learn on your own, don't have, stuff to teach you like you got now with YouTube. You can get on there and they can teach you really good. Hi, HD Handmade Designs. Welcome in. Let's see. All right. Alexa says it's somewhere around the house. LOL, the girls played with it. I figured you gave it to the girls because it looked like a diaper. I was like, you can put it as a diaper for the baby dolls, for the kids. I thought it was cute. Let's see. Let's see. Tina says, thanks so much for a wonderful yarn community is where I learned where stitches and making other items. Yeah, I've learned a lot from YouTube. But biggest majority of the basic stitches, your single crochet, double crochet. I think I learned the half double off of YouTube. I didn't know how to do that till I got learning on YouTube on the half double. I knew the double. I knew the triple, but I didn't use it a lot because I didn't care for it. But now that I know how to do it better, I use it some, but I still prefer either the single, half double, or the double stitch, and just putting them together to make something, beautiful is just amazing, especially with Spring's shawl here. I really enjoyed that. Alexis, that would be one. And you could learn how to do the double crochet, and she teaches you how to do some other ones, and she's really good at teaching you how to do it. And it's just all about finding the right person to teach you how to do it too, as well. If you find the right video that you can follow, Let's see. Tina says, I started learning other things around 2016. Videos were a godsend for me. Yeah. If I had to follow a book, I still wouldn't know how. Well, yeah, see, I didn't follow a lot of the patterns in books until I got confident enough with some of the other stitches. I did have a book for baskets. I did a few baskets out of it. If it looked complicated, I avoided those. I didn't even try to read the pattern and try to figure it out. I would do ones that I can understand this and I can read this pattern very well. I'll do this. It looks simple. Yeah, years ago, I wouldn't have tried to attempt this right here. Or even doing the German shells, I wouldn't have done it. This one is the Turbulent Skies Springs, and this one is another one of my this and that patterns. I'm going to use part of this for my tutorial because I'm going to put another color around the edge and show how I'm going to end it. Oops. And this is Blizzard. She likes to fall down. Sometimes I put her up here. But, Let's see. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If Spring says, I'm glad you enjoyed it, talking about the tutorial of doing the shawl. And I totally agree with you. It is a matter of finding someone that tell a story you like. Alexis says, the most adventurous I've done so far is a sunflower pot holder. Yeah, your sunflower pot holder turned out really pretty. I love it for your candles. You tried another one for some reason. Oh, really? Huh. Maybe we could do a video chat or something and see what maybe I can help you with it. See what's going on with it if you'd like. And I can, I don't know if you've seen my other video, not the one from Little Man's birthday, but the one the day before was Friday night. It was kind of a late live. If you catch it or watch it later, I have a doily that I made up. It was actually supposed to be a pineapple, circular pineapple Afghan, and I shortened it down to where it's a doily, and the colors I used is looks like a sunflower the way I put it together. I finished it. I don't have it with me because I have took it to the church for the fall festival. So Camper says, Tina says, I'm going to make that shawl in my very near future. I've made a virus shawl, but the mixture of other stitches is very appealing. It is, and it's fun, and Spring does a very good job of explaining and showing you how to do the stitches. I know that she said that there was some people that struggled with some stuff, but it was mostly that they got their counts wrong. Other than that, they did really good on following, and I think she did an excellent job on doing her tutorials. And she went slow enough for you to see if she was showing you how to do a stitch. She went slow enough to where you could actually see it. I have watched some videos that if you didn't know how to do the stitch, that you wouldn't have been able to keep up with them because they were just flying through it. And Spring went and did a really good job on showing how to do it. Crystal from Bag O' Day, I think, is easy to follow. Some people can't follow hers. I learned a lot of stuff from her. As far as I've done a dress, which hers was actually a toddler dress for her daughter. Miss Kitty has it, and she can still wear it. I made it that big. She got it for her 10th birthday, and she can still wear it. She's almost 14. So, Camper says, Spring, I need a shawl that's more rounded instead of the pointed backs, and make it the length around for myself, makes the point down my back to my knees. Actually, this is a 3-weight. It's not bad, actually. 3-weight yarn. And this is how big it is. It's not real big. So if you use a 3-weight, this is what you'll get. Hi, Joanna. Yep. Here I knocked down the other part. Freddie decided to come join us. Yeah, see, I haven't even sewed in the ends yet. I still haven't sewed the end in on this one yet either. Freddie, you need to stay up here. Yeah, I liked it. That was actually yarn that Seta had given me when we did the meetup. Me and her and the kids did a meetup earlier in the summer. Little man just absolutely loves Miss Seta. Every time I put Seta on my phone or anything, it could be on the TV, and he'll like, is that Seta? Is that Seta? And he'll come running in there, and he'll either, if I'm on my phone watching Seta, he takes my phone from me and takes off with it, and I don't get to watch it, and I'll have to rewatch it later. So, but then if it's on the TV, it don't matter what room he is in. He's like, oh, that's Seta. And he'll stand there in front of the TV and watch Miss Seta. So, and he was just tickled to death to do that meetup with her. He was excited. We got there a little bit early, and he was just chomping at the bit to get out of the truck. He's like, she here yet? Is she here yet? Can we get out? And he was practically climbing over the seat when she did get there. So yeah, and then the whole time that we were in the store, we went to, we met up at Joann's, and then she took me to actually a local yarn shop that I didn't know that was there. That was neat. It's the first time I'd seen. I don't go to that town very often because it's an hour drive to get there. My husband works up there, but I don't like going up there. It's a big city, and I don't like the way people are driving up through there. Heck, the next town over, they're 30-minute drive, and they're starting to drive like everybody over in that hour, the big city. So yeah, I just don't like getting on the road anymore. I get nervous and anxious, I guess. The way people drive anymore, it scares me because they don't pay attention. Huh. Pineapples on the boardwalk? Is that yours? Is that your tutorial, Spring? Oh. Yeah, Seta is really sweet. She says, she's sweet, talking about Seta. And she said, I get his excitement. Yeah, the whole time that she was with us, it was Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta, Miss Seta, all day long. It's like, and come here, show you this, Miss Seta. But we heard Miss Seta all day long. And she was very patient with him. It was great. We had a wonderful day. Let's see. Tina says, I started out watching and learning from Crystal and Glenda. Creative Grandma is a very okay. I've seen some of her stuff, but I haven't done a lot of hers. I might check her out. Alexis used to do that. She said Glenda, Creative Grandma, is a very slow and very helpful teacher for beginners. If you want to try her channel for some stuff. Okay, the pineapple on the boardwalk is yours. I'll check that one out. I like the pineapple stitch thing. That was what I was wondering too. Wrote it down. Yeah, I need to write that down myself. Oh, I got it on my brain because I'm trying to learn this here stitch for something. Let's see, pineapples on the boardwalk. All right, spring. So I'll remember which channel to look for it on. And on my brain, I won't remember. If I write down the name of it, won't remember whose channel. Lace tape. I don't think I've ever used a tape yarn. I try to avoid that type of yarn. I'm not a fan of it. Okay. I'll have to look at it and see. You enjoy your corn dog there, Seth. That's a friend of my daughter's, kill or be killed. So that's Miss Kitty's friend. That's not a troll, if y'all are wondering who that is. Tina, she said, yeah, that is a tutorial. The crochet along that she has. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Will any yarn work? Because I'm not a fan of the tape yarn. Okay, so any yarn will work. I'll have to check it out. I'm not a fan of it. There was some, or well, I guess you would say it'd be a ribbon kind of yarn, but it was the thin, like a tape yarn, up there at that secondhand store, where I got this yarn. Spring, I don't know if you've seen it. I found a bunch of nitpick yarn. I got 14 things of this yarn. There's 10 of this style. There's 2 of another style. There was a chain yarn. There was a tweed yarn. But I got 14 of these things. And I looked it up online. It would have cost me, if I ordered just the yarn alone, $71.86. And I got this for $14 at a secondhand shop. There's different shades of gray. There's cream colors. And then this one here is my favorite one out of it. And it's the chain spun. I wish I could have got some more of this one. but that was the only one they had. And it's Holly Berry, and it's Lindy Chain. The most expensive one in here, regular price, is like $7.99. It was a couple of them. It was like one or two was $6.99, $5.99, and then these were $4.49 or something like that. But they all were from Knit Picks. Like this one's Galileo. It's a 2-weight. And it's the Superwash Merino and Bamboo. This one's really soft. I think I might start with this one around the collar when I do the poncho of this here. But I'll have to remember I have to hand wash it and lay it flat, because all this yarn is, you can't wash it. That all says okay, so it's called lace tape. Okay. Yeah, my husband wasn't too thrilled with me buying all that yarn, but whenever I told him how much it was, he was a lot happier. Yarny for a smile. Welcome in. How are you? Oh, was her name Kim? But yeah, when he realized that this would have cost like $71, almost $72, and I only paid $14 for it, he was happy. But oh wow, it's been an hour. I guess I'm gonna have to hop off of here, as Miss Kitty has not gotten her schoolwork finished yet. I told her to do her writing stuff, but she went upstairs and is talking to her friend. My name is Charity. Okay. Yeah, I homeschool my daughter. We did that last school year, because we learned some stuff when they did, the year before that, they did 2 days at school and 3 days at home, and she had the speaker going where we could hear what the teacher was teaching on, and we didn't agree with some of that stuff that she was teaching. She started doing a little bit of that critical race theory stuff, and not only that, when she was at school, she's like, Mom, the teachers aren't teaching anything. Basically, they just tell us to read these pages on the Chromebook, and this is your assignment. And basically, we sit in the classroom, the stuff, and she's like, I get done in like 10 minutes with my stuff, and then I've got the rest of the class period, I'm bored. She's like, I don't know what these teachers are doing. They're not really teaching us. They're just, here, do this. And then they sit there and monitor the classroom the rest of the day. So, and then she was supposed to be in the gifted and talented program that they have through the public school. She's very smart. I wish I had started her a year earlier in school. She was making straight A's through that year. Literally the days that she was at home and had to do the video chats with the teachers, she was done early. And she was like, Mom, I hate doing these video chats because there's not, I already did the assignment. Or if the teacher didn't give them the assignment until the video chat, she was sitting there listening to the teacher And sitting there, she had figured out how to use the Chromebook where she could do her assignment and still had the video chat going up. And she was sitting there listening to the teacher while she was doing her assignment. And so she was done before the end of the class period time was done. And, and she was just like, I'm bored. This is too easy. And so we put her on, well, we kind of asked my husband's sister, she's a teacher, or was a teacher. She's finally retired. But we asked her what the best curriculum would be for her to give her a challenge because she wanted a challenge. Because she said basically the only thing that challenged her that year that she was doing, the last year she did public school, was playing the flute. She said everything else was just, she's like, I'm bored, Mom. It's easy. So, we had talked about it, and we also didn't agree with what they were teaching in the schools and stuff too. So we decided to, and we looked around. Pricing wise too, as well, was a factor. We actually had talked about maybe sending her to a Christian school, but we looked into it, and I think it was over $4,000, somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000 to send her to school, to a Christian school, and I still would have had to drive every day to take her and pick her up, and then figure out a way of getting little man on the bus and getting him picked up in time as well. So that wasn't working out either. But this here's not too bad. I think we pay almost $2,000 for her schooling. It's all online. That's including her books and her online courses. And they keep up with her grades too. They do a grade book for her, and they will send us a paper at the end of the year for each of her semester, for the full year of her grades. So we'll have that. And they also provide the state required testing at the end of the year as well. We were going to use a Becca, but it was a little bit higher than Bob Jones University. So we went with Bob Jones University, and Bob Jones University is a little more challenging for her than the ABECA is. And so she's really enjoying it because it's giving her a challenge. She's not bored. It's definitely keeping her entertained. All right, I'll catch up here. This is, oops, it went away. See, Camper says, nice to visit with you all today. And Spring says, great to finally catch you live for a change. Yeah, I catch, sometimes I catch your lives. I don't catch all of them, Spring, but I do enjoy watching your lives. Especially you and Bailey. After laughing so hard, I cry sometimes. Okay. Kim says, we are in year 6 of homeschool. I have a 15-year-old and a 7-year-old. Okay. Yeah, this is our second year of doing homeschooling. Says, yep, we had to go back to learn a lot of things that my kids memorized, not just taught. Yeah, that's what they're teaching in the school system now, is just teaching the kids to memorize stuff and not actually learn it. Let's see. Charity, is that how you spell? Yes, Charity. Yeah, I have a hard time remembering names too. For a long time, I couldn't get Camper 14's I couldn't remember. I don't know why I couldn't remember her name. It's Tina. It's perfect timing today. I was falling asleep, so I picked up my phone. Yeah, sometimes I do that. Um, and it's Charity, not Amanda. Tina. Let's see. Kim says we have used a Becca, the private Christian here. Oh wow, that's just a semester for each kid. Wow. Yeah, and they offered where you could do a what was it, assistance thing, to where you pay part of the schooling and they pay part of it, but it was like $50 or $100 just to apply for it, and you didn't know whether you would get it or not, and that was just for one kid. But now that was for the whole year. But and then like $100 for it was, and you had to pay it every year. But basically, there was a $200 fee that you had to pay if you got a spot for your child. Was you had to pay an extra $200 to keep that spot for your child for next year, which I thought that was insane. That it's like, once you accept the child, why are you having a parent pay an extra fee just to hold their spot? If they're already in the school, let them stay. They shouldn't be charging an extra fee just to hold your spot for next year. That to me, that's insane. And granted, yes, I know it's the only Christian school in the area, but they have recently expanded and they've built on extra buildings, because what happened with that was that they got so many extra kids because of COVID. When school shut down, a lot of the parents was like, I can't afford to not work. So they put their kids in the Christian school, and the Christian school actually expanded, and they were actually using another church, and they put kindergarten and first and second grade, I think, over at a different church building, and was using their fellowship hall area for those kids, and then expanding for the extra kids that they took on. But now they've built on a new building and they can take on more kids. But then too, like this Christian school I went to when I was a kid, if the parents worked there, was teachers there and stuff like that, basically they didn't have to pay for the tuition for the kids. They just had to pay for the books that the kids used for the schooling. And this school up here, at that Christian school, if you work there, you still have to pay tuition and pay for the books for your kids, which is crazy too. Let's see. Tina says, oh, wow, that's pretty pricey. They need to make our taxes available to whatever schools we want. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. If the kids are in a Christian school, the money that the public schools get for those kids, I do believe that they should stick them, take that money and give it to the Christian schools for each kid that they get. And that would actually, I think, would help with the tuition and stuff cost. I do agree with that, Tina. Let's see. Kim says, yeah, I wanted to look into it for next year for my oldest. Yeah, she has actually been in, so she's already got like the public school experience, so I'm not worried about that. And she don't have trouble with socializing with others. So, and we also, our church that we go to doesn't have a lot of kids, so we don't really have a teens program. But the church close to our church has Awanas, and the teens don't do Awanas, but they do have a teens class on Wednesday nights. And biggest majority of those kids that are in the teens class are actually homeschooled there too. So she gets to kind of socialize with those kids on Wednesday nights. They stopped for the summer doing Awanas because there's just so many families and the people that run the Awanas that do vacations and stuff at that time. Not only that, they have their week of vacation Bible school. So that's kind of why they shut it down through the summer. They're supposed to be starting up again soon. Little man loves going to it, and I love it too because he gets to play there too. At the end, they let him do little games and stuff, and so it kind of gets all of his energy out of him by the time he gets home. So, we let her go to that so she gets socialization with kids her age, and she's not just here with just me all day. And then she's got a friend online. That's what she's doing right now. She's talking to her friend online. Whoops. Missed one. Tina says, dude, that's me, and names at times too. Yeah, I forget names. Spring says, you have been keeping me company while uploading feed for. Oh, well, you're welcome. Yeah, the crazy thing, yeah, she's saying, Kim was saying that's crazy about the $200 fee of grading. Yeah, with hers, it's online, so it'll just, and they've got a new program. We've had to learn it. The old program, I was okay with. This newer program, the old program, I could use my phone and grade all her stuff on it. Now, granted, the math, because I could download the answer key, and that saves some money too. I don't have to pay for the books to be brought in for her teacher stuff. All we have to do is order the student books, and I can download all the answer keys for her regular stuff that she needs to grade, or even just stuff that they want us to check. But last year I could do everything on this. This year I can sign on, and I could make her assignments, like schedule her assignments on here, but it wouldn't allow me to do her grading. I actually had to go on this Chromebook and do her grading, and which I'm glad that my husband did get me this, because that would have been an issue this year. I wouldn't have been able to access her stuff to grade it this year if I just had the phone. So that was a blessing in disguise for him getting this for me. He mainly got it for me to do my videos on here, and maybe do some tutorial videos as well. But I have to do this on here now. As far as grading her stuff, it won't let me do any grading because I tried it on my phone. It will not let me grade her stuff on my phone at all. So we have to get on here and do it. Let's see. She says, Tina says, I imagine much better curriculum too. I wish I could have afforded it when mine were young. Yeah, with Ryan, my husband, we can. Luckily enough, we can do it, and we've actually been using. Basically, we use our tax refund money to do her curriculum and stuff the last few years. But And he keeps like, well, you don't know how long we're going to have that. And I said, well, the Lord's provided for us so far for being able to school her, and he will continue to, because I definitely think she needs it. And I think if she was to test today for the public school, she would test beyond her class. She's in 8th grade. I think she would either test up to a 9th or 10th grader right now, because she's learning, and she loves the math, because she says the one thing with the public school, it's the same thing, and they teach you the same thing for like 2 or 3 weeks, and she gets bored with that. This here with the Bob Jones, they're constantly every day learning something new. Now he will, the teacher on there will give her stuff from like 2 or 3 days ago, and that was her assignment. But he won't grade her for the stuff that he teaches that day. He gives her a couple days of practicing it, and then she gets graded on it. But she's like, Mom, I like this because it's not the same thing over and over again. It may be similar to it, but it's different. And so she likes that to where, and it's challenging for her to do it. But I also like the factor of even the history, the science. Everything has biblical aspects to it too. So she's learning more that way. And we did make sure that she's taking a Bible class as well. Actually, I believe Bob Jones is in South Carolina. But you pay for the full package for the teacher, the student and the teacher's package, and that's kind of how you're paying for the online courses and being able to download her stuff for her stuff here. Let me go back up here. So Spring says, I miss my 5th and 6th grade girls Awana's class. Oh, you taught Awana's in Florida. That's cool. I never did the Awana's, but they've actually got all the kids together in one class. Now, Little Man's class, there was so many of those kids at that age group. They ended up doing two classrooms with them. And he was in the classroom where it was just all boys. The other classroom had girls and boys mixed in it. But now, I tell you, that guy that did, a bunch of 8-year-olds, all hyper, and all boys in his class. The other one had boys and girls, but the one guy that had my son, it was funny when they did awards. He's like, and this one, whoever gets him next year will be very entertained. And he said, let's put it that way. And I was like, dude, you can just say it. He's a handful. I know for a fact. He's a handful. It's never a dull moment with little man. He comes up with some stuff. But yeah, I was like, yep, dude, you can just say it. He's a handful. I won't be offended. You can tell it. You can tell it like it is. He's a handful. He's full of energy. So Kim says, I was referring to Bob Jones. We have a pretty big homeschool community here. We have a group that does prom. Wow. Dance, yearbook, field trips. Wow. That's neat. Yeah, because when I was in a Christian school, they didn't even have prom for the Christian school. Of course, it was a Baptist church too, so a lot more stricter on some rules and stuff. Let's see. Tina says, when you do your taxes, the school district has a tax ID you add to the form, so it would not be a deal to fund where you. I don't know how it works here in Virginia. Basically, I know I talked to some other homeschoolers because I found a thing online, and they had a meetup for homeschoolers one year. Or no, actually, I took the kids. It was during the summertime, and there was a bunch of them that had met up, and they let me join in because I was asking them. I had overheard them talking about homeschooling, and I was like, "Well," I said, "Can I?" I said, "Excuse me, I know you guys you're doing something here, but I do have some questions." I was like, "We want to homeschool my daughter, and we're curious as to what all we need to do to get her set up for it and everything." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like, come on over here and join us if you want." And they were very friendly and very helpful. Basically, they said, as far as Virginia goes, we had to submit a letter to the school board and basically intent of homeschooling. And you had to write down why, and also you had to write down what you were using for your child's curriculum. And you had to submit that to the school board. Now, one little issue we did have last year when school started is we turned it in like 1 week before school started, the day that they do their business day, because she still had her Chromebook from the year before. She tried to turn it in, but they wouldn't allow her to. So we turned it in that next year, business day. We went to the school board, turned in her note, and then all of a sudden I kept getting phone calls from social services saying, in the school board system, saying, "Hey, you're not sending your child to school." And after so many days, the school system will notify social services. And I was like, I called the school and I'm like, "What's going on? I gave you guys a notice that she's going to be homeschooled," because I made 2 copies. Well, 3 actually. We have a copy here of her note that we gave to the school board. We gave a copy to the school board, and we gave a copy to the middle school, notifying them that she was not going to be going to school and that we were going to be homeschooling her. And I called the public school there because they kept calling me and telling me, "Hey, she's not here. She's absent today." And so I finally got hold of somebody, and they're like, "Well, we can't take her off as being not with us anymore until the school board has to do that themselves, not us." So, they're like, "Did you turn in the note?" I said, "Well, the same day I gave you guys the note, I gave school board note." She said, "Okay, well, you need to call the school board and see if they can get that in the system and, make sure that they didn't lose it. If they lost it, you can go and take another copy, whatever." So I called them, got the answer machine. They called me back finally. I almost didn't answer the phone because it was a number I didn't recognize, but I did take it. I was just so frustrated because if you don't, here in the state of Virginia, if you don't send your kids to school after so many days, the school system will notify social services and they will take the kids away from you because they are considering that you're neglecting their education. And they will start on a process of, and I didn't want that happening. So I'm like, frantically, and I told the lady, I said, do I have to come down there and show you? Because I've already started her on her school stuff. I said, I'm in town right now. I can come and show you that she's already doing her schoolwork, and it shows her grades, what she's getting right now, and it shows what she has completed. And she's like, no, that's okay. She said, I haven't got to the papers yet, but she says, we'll put you in. So she fixed it. After that, I didn't get any more phone calls, but it freaked me out because I was like, no, don't be, I didn't want to turn us in thinking we're not doing schooling with her and it was all about that the school board didn't do their part. And I guess I should have just stayed on top of it. But that was the first time I ever knew anything about it. So if we decided to pull a little man out of school, and to start doing homeschooling with him, I'll have to stay on top of it and make sure that they take him out, so we don't have that issue again. But that basically, it was real easy. Other than that, it was just, but it freaked me out because they kept calling me. She's not in school. She's not in school. Well, yeah. And why are you not got the system yet? Because we told you she was going to be homeschooled. Let's see. See where I left off here. Kim says, Alabama, you cannot claim any homeschool stuff on taxes as it is optional and has zero. Okay. We don't file for her either. I mean, my husband takes care of all that stuff as far as taxes go, and I think he just claims her as a dependent on there, and that's about it. But he does all that stuff. I don't fool with it. I loved math in school, but one of my teachers did business math with us, and that's one of the things I could not. He's like, you got all this right, but you got this wrong. He's like, going, and it's still going. He laughed at me. I could not figure out how to do tax papers for nothing. And even when I started working, I was like, I gave it to my stepdad. I was like, here's my W-2 form. I don't know what to do. You do it. I don't understand it. And he tried to sit there, and I said, no. I said, I cannot. I have tried. I said, one of my teachers tried to teach me, and it just taxes just whoo over my head, and it keeps going. It has not returned since high school. It's still going. It's probably in somewhere. It's probably in Antarctica right now. I don't know. It's traveled the world so many times it's not even funny. And it hasn't even hit me back in the back of the head yet. Because I just cannot understand how to do taxes at all. That's just one of the things in math that I did not, my brain could not wrap its head around that. Math, any other math stuff I like it and it don't bother me, but that just I can't do. Let's see. Tina says, Kim, that sounds fantastic. They don't have anything like that here. Oh, she's probably talking about the prom and stuff like that, dances. Yeah, that does sound neat. They do have a group online that gets together every once in a while. I haven't looked at any of it. There was one thing that we wanted to do one year, and it was some kind of arts and craft thingy, but it was like $30-$40 for us to go and do this, and I was just like, we can't do that. And we did do a few things. They did a meetup at the park one day. We went to it. Another one, we went to a greenhouse that was local, and that was neat. We met up with them. The only problem with it was that she's 13, almost 14. And a lot of the kids that was meeting up in the group, the parents, all the kids are a lot younger than her. Now, the one at the park, there was a few girls that was her age, but the girls wouldn't talk to each other. Mainly the teenage girls just stuck right there close to their moms and wouldn't socialize with the other girls. And she found a little boy there that was about her age, and they got along. They started playing on the Xbox a little bit, but I don't think she's talked to him in a while. But I haven't seen anything online as far as their meetups lately, but school hasn't been in for very long as it is right now. This is not the tax things, but the extra activities. This is, but yeah, now as far as her Bob Jones stuff, we could do it to where I teach everything, but a lot of the stuff that they're teaching nowadays is way beyond me. So I told him, I said, if we could do the online courses where she actually just watches videos and those teachers teach her, especially the math stuff, I'm going through grading some of this stuff and I'm going, huh? Like, well, at least you got the answer right. I don't know what this means, and she's like, oh, it's da da da. I'm like, honey, ain't no point in trying to teach this old dog new tricks. That's way beyond me. I'd have to sit there and watch the whole thing to be able to learn it. But I'm glad you understand it. And so far right now, she's got straight A's. Let's see. Spring says that was not. What happened to me. I ended up with 3 helpers and 30 girls. Wow. And I thought my mom had it rough raising 6 girls. 30 girls in one classroom. Whoo. Wow, that's a lot of girls in one room. I don't know. You brave Spring. I couldn't do. I went to summer camp one year, and we had probably about 30 girls in the dorm room, and I was about fit to be tied. I couldn't. It's a good thing I had somebody else there that I knew in the same dorm as us. And actually, our sponsor or our chaperone that was supposed to be with us ended up with another church for that church camp, because that church camp didn't send a chaperone for their kids. And those girls ended up over because there was so many girls at this camp that year or that week. It was called Extreme Camp. But that week, there was so many kids. The girls actually outnumbered the boys, that one of the dorms that they had set up over on the other side of the campus was actually supposed to be all the boys' dorms. They had to turn one of those dorms into girls' dorms, and our chaperone got put over there because I think we had 2 ladies. One of the ladies stayed with us, and the other one went over with the other girls, and she was like, oh my gosh, I should have stayed with y'all. As one of the girls turned the power off on the whole building. She found the fuse box. Power off. And the whole building. And it was late at night, too. She said it was middle of the night. Half the girls were in the showers. And she found the breaker box and went blip. And she said, talk about needing earplugs. She said every one of them girls that was in the shower just started screaming bloody murder. And then she's like, I had to find a flashlight and go find out what happened. And she said, I found the girl that done it. She was bent over, just dying laughing. She was laughing so hard she couldn't turn the power back on. And the bad thing is, the girl that done it, her mom was the nurse for the campus for that year. Let's see. Tina, anyone can access Bob Jones University. Yeah, like ABECA, but each state varies on, regulations for homeschooling and what you have to track. Yeah, Virginia basically for their testing at the end of the year, basically they require math and reading, and that's about it for her to have to take. But through Bob Jones University, they actually give her through their state. I think, I don't know. Miss Kitty could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might be a different state that they use. But they do use a state testing. And because she is going through Bob Jones University, it's the testing they use. And it's okay because and all we have to do is when we get her test results from that, we just send a copy of it into the school board. As long as we have that, they're good. And then we had that intent of, taking her out of school stuff. So yeah, and like she said, each state's different on how things work as far as homeschooling. So if you want to look into doing homeschooling and stuff, I would find out what your state regulations are, or even talk to somebody if you know somebody that's already homeschooling, find out from them what needs to be done. Because that's kind of what we did. We went and did that. And there is other stuff that's like government run stuff, and I think there's one that was through the state that's a free. It's like K through 12 or something. I don't remember. It was an online. It's supposed to be free, but it's basically the same thing as the public schools teaching, and that's why we didn't want to use it, was because of it being the system that they were using, and we wanted her to have a challenge because of she just like, I'm bored, Mom, I'm bored, I need something to keep me occupied. So oh, hey Anita, I'm sorry, I didn't notice you had come in. I'm doing good. Hey, Tina's just saying hi. Yeah, well, I could see that you would like it spring. But yeah, my nerves couldn't take it. I couldn't handle 30 girls. I can barely handle little man as it is, but it's other kids. It is easier to handle other kids than it is your own, I guess. Says, all right. Kim says, Tina, Alabama laws have it so that if you take on other kids, you fall under the regulations, visit checks, and same health codes. Oh, wow. As daycare, along with licenses, etc. Now, Virginia, with Virginia, you have to be a licensed teacher if you take any other kids on beside your. Um, Now, as far as the health codes and all that stuff, that probably would be the same thing too, as well. But you would have to have like a home, more or less, basically like a Christian school type setting. If you decided to do homeschooling of other kids. Now, my sister-in-law, she taught my husband, and she went through, I think she went through Bob Jones University. I don't know. He told me, but I can't remember. They may have went through a different school system. But she was kind of an affiliate through them, but she was a licensed teacher, so there was no problem with that because she, you know, she went and had her degree for being teacher. No power shower. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the lights going out. Yeah. Yeah. Those girls went screaming. I think mainly it was because it was dark. Just freaked them out mostly, but it's probably because the water got cold real quick too. Uh, that would be pretty shocking because they kept the air conditioner going pretty good in those dorms. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that the water got cold real quick. K-12 is horrible. Oh wow, turn in doctor's notes. Yeah, that's one thing I know. With her, I don't. I'm mom, and now they do have it now with her stuff. The way it's set up, like where we were sick, little man had brought the C home. Um, Now she did her schoolwork when he was sick, but when she got sick, um, she was so bad. She got it pretty bad. I think I had it worse than any of them, but um, she had it kind of rough. She mainly had a lot of fatigue, mostly, but she did have a few days that she was just achy and fever and coughing. But I just went in and put in, which I didn't know if they would take sick or not. But I just put in a field trip for that whole week. Even though it wasn't a field trip, because this is the first time I'd ever done anything like that to put anything in for her scheduling. And I was just trying to figure it out. But I just clicked a button and start date. I had to put the start date into the end date, and all day, and then put in that it was a field trip, even though she was sick that whole week. She slept most of the time that week, so I wasn't going to push her doing her schoolwork. Not only that, her Chromebook was down here, and the only thing she had up there with her was her tablet, and I don't think that she's got that set up on her tablet right now. So I just let her slide that week. And then little man had he had a day, school day, holiday up, and she didn't get that. They didn't schedule her for that holiday to be off. So I went in there and I scheduled for her because with him being here and wanting to play video games and everything, she wouldn't have been able to concentrate. He would have been pestering her the whole day to try and get her to play with him or do stuff. And so I was like, I am not fighting him all day trying to keep him away from her. So I just told her, I was like, look, I'm going to put you down for a holiday for that day, and you have that day off. So I did download his schedule ahead of time for what days he's off. I may have to get her to double up on some days, do extra work to where she can have that day off without him pestering her when it's like a teacher work day or something like that. She has less days off too for holidays. Thanksgiving last year, she had 3 days. That was it. He had a whole week. She had 3 days. So what we did last year is we had her do extra days, and get those extra days done so she could go ahead and take a full week. Christmas was the same way. She had less days off than he did for Christmas. Now, it wasn't just 3 days for Christmas, but it was a lot less than what little man gets for Christmas. So we just kind of worked it out where she did some extra work to get caught up to where she could have those extra days off for Christmas and the holiday seasons. You'd pull your hair out trying to do homeschool. Well, luckily, if I had to, I believe I would if I had to try to teach little man. That year that we did the 2 days at school, 3 days at home, me and him were at each other. Me and little man are too much alike, and we clash too much. But I'd honestly, at his age, I think he needs that structure of being in school right now, being able to have that experience, and the elementary public school that he's in. Biggest majority of those teachers I know are Christian teachers, and a lot of them don't agree with the critical race theory stuff either. So I really don't have to worry about that right now for him. Middle school, I will have to, and we may end up pulling him and homeschooling him whenever he gets in that grade level. But he's just 3rd grade right now. So, and then now with him, if we do pull him out middle school, I will have to do a little more hands-on with him than I do with Miss Kitty. With her, just here, do it, and this is your assignment, and she does it, gets in, and does it. Sorry about that. That's my house phone. If K-12 is anything like when school were shut down, I can imagine how bad it would be. Yeah, it was a disaster. Yeah, little man stuff was terrible. I hated it. Having to sit down and do the stuff with him. The video chat days was not too bad. He did better. Because he could actually sit there and listen to the teacher, interact with her. So he did a lot better on those days. But when it was just I'm sitting there trying to do the schoolwork, and he's very stubborn when it comes to he don't want to do something, especially an assignment that he does not like. Me and him butted heads a lot on that one. But the main thing I had problem with his schooling was the teacher he had for math gave him the same math problems for 3 to 4 weeks. She never changed the numbers. She's just like, he's got to do this. And so I was just like, are you kidding me? Now, if it was Miss Kitty, in 2 days, she would have had them memorized and would have just went, and it's like, okay, here you go. I done it, Mom. And been done like that. But him, it was just like pulling teeth, trying to get it to do it, because he didn't want to do it. Because he kind of like me. Once he learns something, he wants to move on and learn something new. He don't like repetitive too much. I'm not much on repetitive either. Now, crocheting is a little different story. It's a stress reliever, and sometimes you need that repetitive stitch to just kind of relax. When your brain is so tired and you don't need to think about something, that would be a good one to do. Is just find something that you just repeat over and over. But you put your brain in neutral and just something you don't have to think about or count. But, at his age, I was like that. And my mom sent me my report cards. Every one of them says, Charity needs to learn to pay attention better. Charity did not pay attention in class. And that's what I get from his teacher. He's not paying attention. Well, he's paying attention more than you think. Because if you ask him questions, he can answer it. He's just fidgeting. He can't sit still. When he's bored, he can't. if you already taught this yesterday, yeah, he's like, okay, I got this. I'm done. He moves on to something else. He gets bored with it. He don't want the same thing every day over and over again. And I'm the same way. And she gets bored too, but she keeps herself entertained in a different way than little man does. One year she did get bored, got a little bit of trouble at school. But one of her other teachers and I kind of mentioned that to some of the teachers. That's like, if you notice that she's fidgeting, getting bored, I said one of the teachers noticed that she was done and bored with it, but she understood it. And so what she would do, especially math, was she would get her math done really quick. And she would say, hey, since you're done, can you help me out? Because there's so many kids in the room right now that's not understanding this, and you understand it. Maybe you can explain it at your level, and maybe they could understand it better with how you can explain it to them. And so she helped the teacher out with some of the kids that was struggling with the math. And so, I believe that me and little man both have ADHD. I do have a tendency to kind of, like my daughter says, we'll be driving down the road and I'll be talking about something, and every so often she reminds me. I'll be in the middle of a conversation, and then all of a sudden I just veer off and start talking about something else, and she's like, squirrel. And I said, yeah, I did. I did it again, didn't I? But because I just, my brain works that way. I'll just sit there, I'll focus on it for a little bit, and when it gets bored, it just finds something else to look at, to do. So since we take almost the whole month of December off, a week in November, a week in October, a week in March. Okay. Tuesday through Friday. Okay. Done by 2:00. Wow. She can if she wants to. Sometimes she can get done by 12:00 with all her assignments, but sometimes she takes a little bit longer. Like right now, she's still. Oh crud, y'all! I gotta go meet the bus. I'm gonna have to hop off here. It's 3:35. I better go get little man. So I guess I'll catch y'all later. I'm sorry I didn't read all the comments, but if I don't get down the road, I gotta go get him. So I gotta go get little man real quick. So we'll see y'all later. Bye. It was fun chatting with y'all.